come to a standing position. Then this is really just so that so that when we come down into a tabletop, we're warmed up our hands. So we're going to start, just find a nice even stance. Take a second to just kind of stand nice and tall and just notice how you feel. Feel your feet connected to the ground. Feel the spaciousness around your body. If it's available, just for a second, close your eyes down, just take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. 2 more nice big breaths just to settle in. Awesome. And then in a standing position, one hand to the belly, one hand to the heart, take another big breath. But then just for a moment here, notice your hands. Notice the connection of your hands. Maybe you'll notice the fabric of your clothes underneath your skin of your palms. If your chest is open and exposed, maybe you'll notice that skin to skin contact. Notice if your hands feel warm or cool. There's no right or wrong. Set an intention here to honor your mind and your body throughout your practice. Never doing anything in your practice that would cause your body pain, and treat yourself with love, care, and respect. With that intention set, the hand that's on the heart, keep it there. Bring that hand that's on the belly on top of the heart and just take a couple of circles with the hands, drawing the circles in one direction. Drawing those circles the other way. And then let that come to stillness. Take your legs into that rock the baby sway. And then once you feel like you can put that on autopilot, you don't need to think about it. You've got your knees positioned well, your feet are positioned well. Then we're going to take it up into the hands. So we're going to bring the fingers to the insides of the thumbs and flick like you're trying to, with a little bit of strength or vigor, flick water off of your fingertips. So take those flicks, rock your knees side to side. And then if it feels good to do so, you'll pick up the pace with those finger flicks, but then just kind of tune in and notice. The best way to notice, I find, is to bring them up closer to your ears and then notice one side might be going at a stronger rhythm, stronger pace, or just with a little bit more strength making that sound. Let them get just slightly fatigued. So we want to feel a little bit of the muscles in the fingers, a little working up in that upper outer edge of your hands. Take 1 or 2 more moments here, and then just start to bring a little gentle shake. Shake it all off, and then let that shake come down into your limbs, into your arms. Nice, and then transfer your weight over to one foot, pick one leg up and shake your leg out. Awesome, transfer your weight over to the other foot, pick your other leg up, give it a little shake. Don't worry about what you look like. Don't worry if you're rocking all over the place. And then set that foot down, and now we're going to take our hands and rough up our knees. So you're just going to rub your knees like you're warming them up to go to the gym. Rough them up just a little bit. And then once you feel like your knees are nice and roughed up, we're going to brush down the thighs, like you're brushing some things off. So go tops of the thighs, outsides of the thighs, backs of the thighs, inner thighs, and then take it down to the calves. Brush down the front of your shins, sides of your calves, back of your calves, insides of your calves. And then when you feel ready, come down into a tabletop position. Come down onto all fours in any way that works good for you. Nothing fancy here. Nice. And then once you're in that tabletop position, just take a second to notice your hands and your fingers. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Feel the texture of the mat underneath your hands. Take a nice big breath. And now it's not gonna look like a lot, but we're just gonna tune in and pay attention. So we're gonna press into the pads of our thumbs, press your thumbs down into your mat, and then relax. Press your index fingers down into the mat, and then relax. Press your middle finger down into the mat, and relax. Press your ring fingers down into the mat, and relax. Press your pinky finger down into the mat, and then relax. Now, pick up your thumbs and just give a couple of taps. Let your thumbs come to stillness. Pick up your index fingers and give a couple of taps. Index fingers come to stillness. Give your middle fingers a couple of taps. Now, as you get to the middle fingers and the ring finger, it's going to get a little bit more challenging. Now move on to the ring finger. So all the other 4 fingers are going to try to stay down, and you're just going to tap your ring fingers. And then take it down to the pinkies and give your pinkies a little tap. Nice. And then find a little bit of integrity in your table again. So if you got a little lean back, if your butt went back towards your heels, come back to a nice strong position in your tabletop, move right into a cat-cow. Inhale as you drop your belly, lift your chest, lift your tail. Exhale as you round your back. Inhale as you drop your belly. Exhale to round. And then just take a few more cycles of breath here. Move with your breath's rhythm. One or two more cycles of breath. And then when you feel ready, find a strong neutral spine. So we're going to think about pulling the belly up slightly firm, a little bit of a broadness in the shoulders, a little bit of intention down at the hands. And then we're going to just go with the right leg. So right leg is just going to slide back. Everything else is going to stay stable. Slide it back in. Slide the right leg back and slide it back in. Everything else stays stable. Nice. Slide the right leg back. Slide it in. Now we're going to move over to the left leg. Slide your left leg back and slide it back in. Everything else stays as stationary as it can. Slide your left leg back, slide it back in, slide your left leg back, slide it back and move on to the right hand. We're just gonna slide the right hand forward, slide it back in, slide the right hand forward, slide it back in, slide the right hand forward, slide it back in, move on to the left hand. Slide the left hand forward. Everything else stays as stable as it can. Slide the left hand in. Slide the left hand forward, slide it back in. One more time with the left hand, slide it forward, slide it back in, nice. And now we're gonna go left hand, right leg. So we're gonna just slide out, keep the limbs touching the ground, slide it back in. Two more times with that side. So left hand, right leg, slide out, slide it back in. Everything else stays as stationary as it can. Left hand, right leg, slide out, slide it back in, switch over to the other side. So right hand, left leg, slide out, slide back in with control. So the abdomen and the shoulders and the upper body stay as stable as they can. Slide out and slide in. One more time through. Slide out, slide in, slide the right leg out. Hands are going to stay in that position. Curl your toes under and take a few rocks forward and back. Wonderful. The next time you press back into your heels, stay there. Take an extra cycle of breath. Bring your shoulders back in line with the wrist. Slide your left leg back, toes curled under. Take a few rocks forward and back. Nice. And then the next time you press back into your heels, stay there for an extra cycle of breath. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, slide that leg in. We're going to move right into puppy pose or heart melting pose. So adjust your knees so that they're underneath your hips. Walk your hands forward as wide as you like your arms to be, and then let your chest and your forehead melt down. Take about 3 to 5 nice big breaths here. When you feel ready, slowly and mindfully walk yourself back up through table, but we're going to take it right back to extended child's pose. So big toes together, knees are going to walk out just as wide as you like. Draw your butt back towards your heels and then take a second to kind of make that little bit of space. So you want to make sure your hip creases feel arranged nicely, knees feel like they're in a good position, and then arms are going to go out wherever they like the best. You might choose a wide position. You might choose to even stack your hands and let your forehead rest on them. So anything that feels nice to you and allows you to settle into this position. And then once you're there, take about 5 nice deep breaths. Take one more breath here. And then when you're ready, slowly, slowly, slowly start to bring yourself up and out of that child's pose. Now we're going to spin our legs around and then sit back on our butt. So we're just going to take it in any way that works good for you. Spin yourself around, And then once you're seated on your butt, we're just going to lean back a little bit so we just have a little space between our chest and our thighs, and the upper body's not going to effort too much. We're just going to drop the right knee out a couple of times, moving out of the hip socket best we can. Awesome. And then when you're ready, take it over to the other side. Drop that knee in and out. Cool. Now, I did say we don't need our block or our pillows until the end of practice, but I'm looking at my notes and I said the wrong thing. So once you've got your both knees coming in and out and you feel like your hips are a little bit loose, if you like, take your pillow or your block, whatever you're using, and both tools work just fine. And we're going to bring it into a little bit of a lifted butterfly. So we're going to place the blade edges of our feet onto our block or our pillow. Knees are going to be out to the left and to the right, but then we're going to lean back a little bit. So you just walk your arms back, arrange your shoulders and your chest in a way that feels good, and then take about 5 big breaths here. Just let your inner thighs be as soft and heavy as you can. Take one more breath. And then with control, we're just going to step our feet off of the block or the pillow so that it's up and out of the way. And then once your feet are off of your elevated position, take your prop out of the way. Now we're going to swing it into a deer position or zigzag seat. So right leg is going to come in front, left leg is going to go out to the side. And then once you're there, we're going to take it into some dynamic mermaid. So we're going to take it into a side bend. Right hand's going to touch down, left hand's going to reach up, and then we're going to lean out and away. So we're just going to take a few times going from side to side, move at a pace and a depth that feels good in your body. So only go as far as feels nice. Awesome. Take one more time through or even yourself out. And then as you come back up to a central neutral position, we're going to fold forward. So you're just going to walk your hands out in front of the shin that's in front of you. Walk yourself out just to a depth that feels good. Maybe you'll feel some sensation, IT band, outer edge of the thigh, outer edge of your hip, or deep into your glutes, just variations depending on where you might hold a little tension in your body. And then once you found your way into a fold that feels good, take a nice deep breath in. Soften your toes on your exhale. Nice deep breath in. Soften your shoulders on your exhale. One more nice deep breath in. Soften your fingers on your exhale. And then when you feel ready, slowly walk yourself back up and in. We're going to lean back into the sits bone so we can just swing the legs out and around to the other side. So now left leg is going to come in front, right leg is going to go out to the side. And then once you've got yourself arranged and that feels like a good position, take it back into those dynamic mermaids. So we're just going to take side bend side to side. And then notice here, one side might feel totally different than the other, because sometimes our internal rotation or our external rotation is a little bit varied on each leg. So you might feel like one knee lands a little different, one ankle lands a little different. So maybe just take a moment to notice how one side might feel a little different than the other. Take one more time through or even yourself out. And then as you come back to center, we're going to take it back into that fold. So you're going to walk yourself out just to a depth that feels good to you. Get yourself arranged so everything feels comfortable. Once you're there, take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, soften your toes. Nice deep breath in. Exhale, soften your shoulders. One more nice deep breath. Exhale, soften your fingers. And then when you're ready, slowly, slowly, slowly walk yourself back up and in. And then before we come down to the ground, we're going to do a little pinch and twist maneuver to our Achilles heel. So arrange your legs in whatever way works good for you so that you can grab hold of your Achilles tendon, and then just that little pinch and roll like you're rolling a cigarette. So you're just going to pinch and kind of roll around on the Achilles tendon. You can move all the way up to where that insertion point meets the calf muscle, and then pinch and roll down towards where your heel is, and then you just take a couple times up and down. If you find any places that feel a little bit interesting or a little bit tender, you might pause there for a moment, giving it the attention that it might need. Awesome. And then once you feel like you've got all the places in that Achilles heel that might want a little attention, take your time as you come down onto the ground. We're going to come into a bridge preparatory position. So knees are going to be bent, heels a little bit close to the butt, feet about hip width distance apart. Once you come down to the ground, just give everything a second. Let your tailbone find a nice happy place to be. Get your clothes and your hair arranged in a way that works good for you. We're going to start with some halfway bridges. So with your heels close to your butt, hands alongside your hips, it's going to be an exhale to lift the hips up, an inhale to lower down. So that's going to be at a pace that works good for you. Exhale as you lift up, but try to think about keeping the backs of the ribs fairly connected to the earth. And then inhale, lower down, slow and controlled. Exhale to lift up. Inhale to lower down. Take a few more and just go with your breath's rhythm. Beautiful. And then the next time your hips touch down, we're going to take it into a reclined butterfly. So soles of the feet together, knees out to the left and to the right. Once you found your way there, just let your arms relax for a moment. Notice your belly, notice your ribs. If you notice there's any tightness in that front hip crease area, just take a moment to notice. No need to try to address it or fix it, but just notice it. Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, knees are going to come together, thighs together, toes together, and we're going to push the knees in towards each other. Push in with a little bit of effort. Hold that effort push for about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax that effort. Step your feet to hip width distance apart, hands alongside your hips. Exhale, lift up into that halfway bridge and hold. Hold it there for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax your hips back down, soles of the feet together, knees out to the left and to the right, back to our reclined butterfly. Now notice the front of the hip creases. Notice if there's any extra space that you found there. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. On your next exhale, bring your knees together, inner thighs together, toes together, and then we're going to push the knees in towards each other. Hold that effort. Pushing in for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax that position. Step your feet to hip width distance apart. Exhale, lift your hips up just to that halfway point. Backs of the ribs stay connected to the ground. Reach your knees towards your toes so we feel just that little sense of length through the tops of the thighs or through the front of the hips, and then hold it there for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down with control. Right leg is going to come across the left into a figure 4 position. And then right away, we're going to lift the left leg up, thread your hands through, grab whatever handhold works good for you, and then draw the legs in. Take one big breath. Beautiful. With release or with control, release your legs. Take it right to the other side. Left leg is going to come across the right. Find your figure 4 shape first, and then lift the right leg up. Thread your hands through, grab whatever handhold works good for you. Once you've got your handhold, pull it in, and then take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. Release your handhold. We're going to pull the right knee into the chest as we extend the left leg nice and long, moving right into supine twist. Take that right knee over to the left, over and across the body. Right arm opens wide, head turns to the right if that feels good, and then take 3 breaths here. Awesome. Pull that right knee into your chest. Bring the left knee into meet. We're going to rock the knees just a little bit side to side, massage the low back. And then when you feel ready, hold onto your left knee, let your right leg go nice and long, and we'll take that supine twist right to the other side. Take the left knee over to the right, left arm opens wide, head turns to the left. Beautiful. When you're ready, pull the left knee back into your chest. Bring the right knee into meet. We're going to keep the feet together and knees are going to butterfly out and away from each other. So we're going to circle those knees in one direction. And then circle your knees the other way. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, set your feet down. Grab your block or your pillow, whatever you're working with today. And if it's a pillow, just keep it soft and light. So lowest setting for your block, lowest setting for your pillow. Lift your hips up, slide your block or your pillow underneath your hips, and then give your hips a second to settle down. Once you feel like you've got the block or the pillow in a good position so the hips are supported, invite a sense of softness in. See if you can soften your feet, soften the tops of your thighs, soften your abdomen best you can, and then just let your arms come out wherever feels the most comfortable. Now you might choose to stay with the supported bridge on the block or on your pillow, but if you want just a little bit of an elevation for your feet, first you're going to just check in with your low back, notice how it's feeling. In this slightly unsupported position, we just want to make sure that we can invite a firmness into our abdomen to support the low back, assuming that it creates any discomfort. But if all is feeling good, your back's feeling happy, hold on to the block just to make sure it feels like it's in a good, safe position. Pick one knee up and then the other. And then we're going to float the legs upward towards the ceiling, but just to a point that feels nice. Doesn't need to be straight legs, nothing extreme, so we're not tugging against the hamstrings or anything. Just let the feet be elevated as much as feels good to you. Do a quick assess, make sure your back feels okay. And then if it feels all right to do so, let your arms come out nice and wide. Palms facing up, shoulder heads relaxing down. Take about 3 deep breaths here. Beautiful. And then before we come down with those legs, take a moment to just kind of point and flex the feet, wiggle through the toes, invite any organic movement into the feet that might feel good. If it feels good to do so, maybe you twirl your feet in one direction. Maybe you twirl your feet the other way. Awesome. And then when you feel ready, slowly and mindfully float your feet back down to the ground. Let your feet touch down. And then if you've still got your prop supported underneath your hips, lift your hips up, slide your prop out from underneath you, lower your hips with control. And then we're going to step the feet to the outer edges of the mat, moving right into some windshield wipers. Rock the knees side to side. Take it at the depth that works good for you. If your body feels good and warmed up and your hips are super happy about it, take them as big as you like. Awesome. Take one more rock of the knees side to side. We're gonna find a reclined mountain pose before we find our way to our Shavasana. So walk your feet to the end of your mat, but the feet are gonna be active and we're gonna think about pushing into the heels or the upper edges of the heels. So keep your feet in a sort of flex position as if your feet were standing on the ground. Toes are slightly active. Push gently down into the heel so you feel maybe the quadriceps kick on just a little bit. You might feel your abdominal muscles kick on just a little bit. And then let your hands come down at your sides, palms facing up so that the backs of the hands can press slightly down into the ground. Shoulder heads are going to press down into the ground. And then with the heels, the hands, the shoulder heads pressing down into the ground, press into the back of your head just a little bit. So everything else is going to stay just as it is, but you might feel the little muscles right at that occipital place where the skull meets the neck. Press into the back of the head just to the point where you feel those little muscles kick on. Take one more moment. And then when you're ready, let the whole body soften. Take a second, let your feet fall out, let your hands relax, and then ask yourself where would be your best Shavasana. Would it feel good to come to constructive rest, which can support the low back? Would it feel good to take it into reclined cobbler's pose now that your hips are all nice and opened up? Or does it feel good to take a more traditional shape? So you choose your own adventure, find a position of the body that feels good. And then once you feel like you're there, let everything find a soft stillness. You always have the option to stay in your Shavasana just as long as you like. But if your day requires, or if you feel called to do so, maybe take a few moments to just reawaken your body. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, wake up your hands, wake up your feet. Move your wrists, move your ankles, and then any other movement into the body that feels good. Maybe stretching your legs long if they were in a bent position. And then if it feels really great to do so, take it into a big good morning stretch like a yawn. Take a nice deep breath in. Nice. And then when you feel ready, find your way up to a comfortable seated position. Maybe you sit in Sukhasana with your legs crossed. Any shape of the body that allows you to sit up so that you can have access to the chest, to your throat, and then to cover your face. So that's what we're shooting for, even if that means you stay on the ground. If you're wearing glasses, take a second to just put them off somewhere safe. And then we're just gonna fire up our hands, put a little bit of warmth into your palms. And then we're gonna do a humming breath, but we're gonna stack our hands on top of the heart. So stack your hands, close your eyes down, take a nice deep breath in. As you exhale, if it feels good to do so, let out a low hum. When you're ready, inhale, bring the palms together, fire up your palms. I like to hook my thumbs for this maneuver, but you're gonna just wrap your hands around your throat in any way that feels good. So you might just do a little handhold catch, anything that feels good, but we're gonna take a loose handhold around the neck, close your eyes down, take a big breath in. And as you exhale, let out a hum. On your next inhale, bring your hands together, get your palms nice and warm. And then this time, once your hands feel nice and warm, you're going to cup them over your face, maybe bowing your head down. Take a nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, let out a hum. Once you've completed that last humming breath, just stack your hands on top of your heart, bow your head to your heart, breathing in love and gratitude for yourself, for your mind, for your body, and the time you take to take care of yourself. And breathe in a little extra love and gratitude that you can carry with you through the rest of your night and share with everyone you see. And when you feel ready, gently lift up through the top of your head, gently open your eyes. I bow to you. Happy Wednesday.